Big dog boxing, motherfucker. Oscar De La Hoya took to social media and had this to say about the latest news of Terence Crawford's decision to retire, and I quote, "What a tool. I can name 4, 5, 6 fighters that compete and probably beat him. Please. 2 good fighters that he beat. Congratulations." End quote. So, in one of my earlier videos, I've already discussed about my thoughts on Terence Crawford's retirement. The title of the video is Crawford Retires, No Rematch for Canelo, and that this is Canelo's own fault. Make sure you go and check that out if you haven't already. But what I basically talk about in that video is that I thought that Terence Crawford's retirement is a good move. Terence Crawford gets to retire and walk away while being on top. And how that's a rare thing in boxing. Most boxers don't walk away while they're on top. They usually go out sad on the downslope of their career. So for Terence Crawford to retire and hang up the gloves while he's on top, I thought that was a good move. And it is what it is, was what it was. But for Oscar De La Hoya to say that, well, say what he said about Bud Crawford retiring, it's quite rich. Because let's just say what Oscar De La Hoya is saying is true. That Bud only beat 2 fighters. Well, all right, let's just say that's true. Well, guess what? Bud Crawford beating Canelo is much bigger and better than anything Oscar De La Hoya has ever done or accomplished, accolades wise or achievements wise. Oscar De La Hoya is known for losing all of his big fights. And this is coming from a fan of Oscar De La Hoya from back in the day. But I remember right around the time that he lost to Felix Tito Trinidad, right after that Trinidad fight, it was all downhill from there. De La Hoya lost all of his big fights. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley twice. Then he got folded up at 160 by Bernard Hopkins. And then he lost to Floyd Mayweather. And then he loses to Manny Pacquiao. Oscar De La Hoya's best wins were over an old, washed-up Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Fernando Vargas. And go ahead and throw in Ricardo Mayorga in there. But all of his other wins were called into question. Like the Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker fight. The next day, a lot of people were calling that fight a robbery. And I would have to agree. I thought that Pernell Whitaker fight was a gift for Oscar De La Hoya. The Ike Corte fight, another gift. And you can say, well, at least Oscar De La Hoya fought everybody. He didn't duck no one. He fought everybody. All the great fighters, he fought them. And to that, I would have to agree. That is a fact. Oscar De La Hoya did fight everybody. He did not duck no one. But if we go by those standards, then Oscar De La Hoya deserves nothing more than a participation trophy. In boxing, last time that I checked, it wasn't enough just to be in the big fights to lose. That the point of those big fights were to win. But if you take both of these guys' careers, Oscar and Terence Crawford's, and you compare both of these guys' careers, well, if you ask me, Terence Crawford had a way better career than Oscar De La Hoya, and it's not even close. Oscar De La Hoya will never be in the conversation with all of the all-time greats like Muhammad Ali, like Sugar Ray Leonard, like Floyd Mayweather, but Terence Crawford can be. Nobody will ever look at Oscar De La Hoya and say, wow, Oscar was as good as Alexander Usyk. But people do have an argument with Terence Crawford being as good as Usyk. Honestly, Oscar De La Hoya was really only popular with the women. You know, he was popular with the bitches, and he has a big name, and he's world famous. He was really big in the pop culture. But as far as pound for pound, one of the best in boxing to ever lace up some gloves, there's no way. And I don't want to be the one sitting here criticizing or clowning Oscar, clowning Oscar because he's known for all of his losses. He's known for losing all of his big fights. But enough is enough. This guy Oscar De La Hoya is constantly taking shots at everybody else, talking shit about everybody, but never taking a look at himself. Every time I turn around, Oscar De La Hoya has something bad to say about Canelo. He has something bad to say about Eddie Hearn. He has something bad to say about Dana White, Zuffa Boxing, Terence Crawford. He always got something bad to say about someone because apparently Oscar De La Hoya's shit don't stink. That's what it must be, right? Oscar De La Hoya is just perfect. Look, all I'm saying is this. If Oscar De La Hoya wasn't always talking shit about someone, then you can look at Oscar's career for the good of it. But because Oscar De La Hoya is always talking shit about someone else, well, it's like, all right, then, homie, let's talk about you then. Let's talk shit about you then, Oscar. Your career wasn't all that. It just wasn't. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section, man. And you already know, once again, this has been your boy, Big O Dog Boxing, and I'm out this bitch.